Hey guys, it's Fitz from ICC Cup StarCraft TV, and today we have another cast for you guys, and I'm very excited to share with you guys that this is actually the first in our video series of this particular week for the replay of the week, and there's actually 5 of them, so it's instead of the one that we did previously in ICC Cup, we're going to be doing 5 each week, so we just get that much more content out to you guys, that if you guys really like to watch us, then really good for you guys. If you don't really want to watch us that much, well, you know, there's enough for you guys. So either way you look at it, it's always good, and I love to cast, and yes, and it gives the other 2 casters that we have, Varial and the other guy, I still haven't know the name to him. I am sorry, but you know, beside the point, I feel like we should probably introduce our players right about now. And it's actually going to be an in-house clan matchup, which means it's going to be 2 players from the same clan just kind of dueling it out. I don't really know the origin of this replay, to be completely honest. But it's actually, they're both from the RUEL clan. I don't know if that's a clan on ICC Cup, a pro team, I really don't know. But so it's Rule Clan's Taeyeon is the purple Terran on the top right, and the bottom left we have the brown Protoss. The woong, or whatever the guy's name is. And the map is actually Fighting Spirit, and I will just quickly run down this map for you guys real quick. You can spawn the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Try saying that 10 times fast. 10 times, excuse me. And yeah, your main is on the high ground. It's fairly large. You can put a lot of stuff in here. Your natural is very easy to secure. A little choke right here, and that's pretty easy. All you have to do is really kind of defend off this, and then you're pretty much guaranteed your third as long as you just put up a couple siege tanks right here, and then you just wall off here with a couple supply depots, pylons, etc. Yeah, and that's pretty much Fighting Spirit in a jiffy. If you're wondering what this stuff over here is, that's just translated Korean into whatever Brood War text thinks it should be like, but it's not. That's why it just looks like gibberish. That's not legitimate Korean though. That's if you never knew what Korean looked like, that's not what it looks like, if you're wondering. What else? Oh yeah, about replays of the week are ROTW. I think is actually what we acronize it as, if that's a word. And essentially the reason why we do this is, well, number one, we get better casts out because we have better replays to choose from, because we have our own replay section that actually it's pretty much for this. Actually, when I think about it, these are the guys that go through the painstaking process of going through all a lot of replays and picking out like 5 really good ones. And Hashim was the one from the replay section to give us out, and I give him a pat on the back for it. And I could never really do that. I wouldn't have the patience to do it. But I love to cast, and I am more than glad to cast pretty much any kind of StarCraft game. But you know, it's always better to cast better versions of the game. But I believe both these players are somewhat high level of what I understand of this replay. But again, this is kind of more like the first time I'm ever watching this. So let's just see what happens. And about my previous cast on Nada versus Junitas, again, another PvT, there was actually some black parts in it. Like, I don't know why, but it just happened. Hopefully I'm going to be able to find the origin of that problem, and then we won't get that problem ever again. So, cross your fingers for that, guys, and I hope this will become a really good cast for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the last cast, too, but if you can get over the technical problems that I've had to do. Now where the game gets a little more interesting, when instead of just building an SCV and scouting, what's his name? Taeyeon, or Taeyeon, or whatever, how do you pronounce his name, is actually going for factory before CC. I don't really have a preference over this as me being a Terran player, but I'm D-. But beside the point, I normally go run 1 racks into CC and then a bunker and then factory, like what Flash does. But I prefer to do. I guess some people prefer to go factory first, where they'll put on a machine shop, push up a tank, and get siege mode right away, and then they pretty much hold off this from the early game aggression from the Dragoons, and then the Dragoons push back, and then they put their expand down, and yeah, pretty much all early game is just negated, or any really early game pressure is really kind of just stopped from that. especially when the Terran player just kind of scouts like, well, he has 2 gateways and gas, and I see this thing is spinning. So probably he's not going Eric Race. He's probably going, you know, Range Dragoon, which is probably standard. And he's also putting up his Nexus, which leads me to believe that he's not going to be doing it pretty much of any kind of all-in strat unless he's going to be canceling that at the last second, but to juke out the Terran player. But I don't think that's going to happen. And actually going to be getting Spider Mines, and the reason for this most likely is just to be able to get the map awareness to know when the Protoss player is going to be moving out, and just map vision overall. Should be careful with this probe. Doesn't want to lose that. He can just send that guy back to mining over on his natural if he wants. And this SCV is gonna probably just fall and kind of die. So 5 Marines and a tank just came out, oddly enough, and Vulture's coming out. So yeah, that should probably be around the time that upgrade is about to finish. Putting down his CC on the low ground, so not going to opting to go that bunker play. But both players aren't really doing any kind of a really aggression, more or less. Terran player should be careful with that probe. Terran player is just kind of, you know, moving out with a small force. I don't see how this could really do much, considering the fact that, I mean, let's see here. He's still producing double Dragoon, and it looks like he's pushing back. And sees the naturals halfway done right about now, and still just constantly producing out of the factory with some vultures. Protoss player on the other hand is getting the pylon at the natural, and just still constant Dragoon production. Now, if this is more of a higher end game, which it does seem like, both players seem like they're going to be going for a macro style. Not really doing too much there with that one vulture. And, well, yeah, it's definitely macro because he's getting a 3rd command center on a 3rd base by not even 6 minutes in the game. But beside the point, that just peeking down and letting that scouting probe know that he had a tank and Marines and he was pushing across the map a little bit. Now in lower game, in lower league like D, I feel like more like D minus at least, maybe D, maybe when people are still learning the mechanics of the game, where people haven't really fully developed all the mechanics for the game, like how to defend against a 9 pool, a 6 pool, etc. Not saying it's easy by any means. The players like myself really haven't developed those mechanics yet, and whereas where you just constantly pump out units like a 9 pool, it's gonna have a much higher win rate than a macro style game, probably macro style player in D minus strength than a person who 9 pools every game. But that's because they're exploiting the fact that the other players not gonna have that really good holding on their mechanics. Now in this game where they can't really do that, where they can't really manipulate the fact that these players don't really have the mechanics down, it's more like the mental game where they both have the mechanics down, and they're, for this case, we'll just argue that they're both like equal footing on the mechanics side of things, because I don't know either of these players' APM or their playstyles really. That's where you kind of have to watch a lot of pro games of a certain pro guy to really figure that out. But for our cases, we're gonna call these guys equal on the mechanical standpoint of sides, and so what we have to do for that is they have to try to have this mental game going on, where he may have forced the couple Dragoons to come out, which, I mean, I've been talking about this for the past like 3 or 4 minutes now, but what it could have done is it could have done Reaver, actually. Probably some Reaver drop play, and just a little thing going on and off about Vultures trying to put down Spider Mines, just kind of dying. Good map awareness by the Terran player, and what that early pressure does, it may make him to go for more of put out more, maybe put down a 2nd gateway versus put down a 3rd gateway instead of just 2 gateways, producing more Dragoons than he wants to. Maybe he wanted to go for more of a tech-oriented play, where he was going to go mass carrier early game. I don't know. Just something along those lines that can mess up the person's mental game, and that can just kind of throw him off a little bit. However, it looks like this play might be doing something. He's gonna be dropping off a Reaver and a Dragoon over here, which could be doing some damage over. Ooh. Does get a tank with that. Was that 2 or no, that was 1 tank, I believe. 1 tank for a Reaver. I think I don't know. I think maybe the Protoss may have lost an engagement. However, he's getting a fair amount of SCV kills with this. He's also just put down another expand over here, if you guys were wondering. So, if you guys are kind of more new to the StarCraft scene, or if you guys are coming from StarCraft 2, one thing that it's true for both games, if you're just lower level and you're still kind of learning like the gist of how everything works in StarCraft, most players will expand off when they're doing aggression. That's exactly what the Protoss player just did, and it's a smart move because while the the players that's being attacked is focusing on defense, not expanding at that point in time. And they may just lose glimpse that, oh, he just took an expand over here. But Protoss players doing it very standard. Isn't quite rushing for the Arbiter tech quite yet. I feel like he should be doing that. But both players are going to go for more of like a macro style game, like I was saying earlier. I mean, Protoss is already off of 4 base, which is kind of ridiculous, but and I mean he's gonna be outbase the Terran, which is definitely what Junitas did. But let's see if let's hope that woong can do some more damage versus this Terran player versus Nada, who had kind of a crazy APM, which it's a little ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie, but anything else? I believe he's transferring. No, he's transferring over some Dragoons. Getting up a second army, getting +1. I'm guessing probably getting double upgrades. Alright, actually, it does have +1 already. And getting Vulture speed out right now. And Terran seems very content on just pulling out units at this point in time, not really needing to expand, not really going for any kind of drop play. As of right now, I do not see any dropships outside of his base. And none of these factories actually have really any machine shops on them, which I'm a little confused considering they're only 50-50. And he could be producing more tanks out of them or something along those lines. But because I know Goliath and Vultures do not require the machine shop. And actually a Reaver drop's happening over here, and hopefully it won't be able to get some kills. That Zealot's just like chilling over there. Ooh, that was a really, really good one. And nothing really. Well, how did those die when the I don't get how that worked, but and this also brings up the special point where as me being somewhat new to the whole Brood War, it's been a while since I've played this. I don't quite understand why Terran, when they go mech, because you have to go mech versus, or it's just kind of like standard to go mech versus Protoss. You could try to go bio, but it's not recommended, and it'll be very hard to pull off. But when you go, oh wow, that's a lot of kills. Why don't they just go Goliath for the game? Like, if they're gonna see this Reaver coming out by just scanning or something, they see that, ooh, he will see that drop coming by though, and why just get a Goliath and just you're able to snipe off the shuttle, and then the Reaver drop's completely shut down. Maybe someone could explain that to me. Maybe in a co-cast I'll bring it up, and maybe one of my fellow people can find that out. Oh, he did get a shuttle is a little drop, but it's going to be 2 Vultures and a tank, and I wouldn't be surprised if he siege up, which he just does right about now. And I really don't see this doing much. I mean, 4 Dragoons should be able to clean this up just fine. Vulture versus Dragoon, yeah, Vultures are, Dragoons are probably going to win the Vulture for just a straight up battle of that. And this army looking pretty menacing, getting up double upgrades for the Protoss player, has none actually. Does he have any upgrades coming up? Getting up 2 more gateways. He does Arbiter Tribunal up, and actually pumping out an Arbiter right now, which is very, very nice. Getting Storm also. Where is this forge? Ah, here it is. Getting +1, just about to finish. Looks like Protoss player is going to be moving out with a sizable force of High Templar and High Templar, Dragoon, and Zealot. And yeah, there the Goliath. There we go. And just a lot of factories coming out and getting the range upgrade on the Goliath, which is never bad to have, especially versus the Arbiter, where you're going to try to want to snipe that off as soon as possible. And oh, he's losing all his High Templar. Another thing I note with Protoss, with me mixing around with all the races and me you know, just trying to figure out which race really kind of suits me. I first started as Zerg, but I realized you have to be you have to have very, very good unit control to be able to move them all around, which I just really don't have that. And then Protoss, you had to be really, like, I would always throw away my units most of the time because I was playing Zerg before and they were kind of cheap, and you're not always supposed to throw away your units, obviously, but, you know, to the same extent. With Protoss, your units are really expensive, and spellcasters are, like, key to Protoss. Storm versus Zerg, Storm versus Terran, actually. Then with it's even more so with the Arbiter play when you need it versus Protoss. I mean, versus TVP. You know, you're going to have to use those recalls. You're going to have to be using those stasis fields, and etc. I think it even has one more ability, which I just don't remember. But because I know you're not going to be massing Arbiter for doing DPS, because 10 damage per shot, that has like a super slow fire rate. Looks like actually Taeyeon's going to be moving out. Oh, he just... Oh, no. His own spider mines went against him there. Oh, no. And tanks are not cheap, and they take a while, and he only has... I wish he had more machine shops where he could just produce more tanks. Vultures are important, but, you know, he's gonna need these mass tank numbers again, and he just doesn't have it. I mean, this is a menacing force, but I mean, I don't know. I think Protoss players does have the advantage right here. He does have his 5th base, which I failed to mention that he did get. And running to a siege line, I don't know how much I like this. And yeah, that didn't go too well. Oh, he's just continuing to run into. Now this is what the Terran player wants, is just to whittle down the Protoss army, but they're much more able to resupply because he's going mainly gateway units, which are fairly come out fairly quickly. Oh, and an EMP goes off when he could have done a stasis field. Oh no. Well, there's the EMP question I had just answered from last game. And scanning lots to kill off all these observers too. Very smart play. However, the one thing I'm very confused on is why the fact Terran players not sieging for one, and number two, he's just not being careful with his units. He's just getting 2 signs of just got sniped off. He has to be very, very careful with these units. They're very expensive. They take a long time to come out. I think he should be doing a slow progression across the map, but he is doing the right thing. He's going to be denying this expand by most likely, yep, there we go. And goodbye everything on that. Protoss is actually moving in position, probably to move behind these tanks. Ooh, going to be able to snipe off, get 3 free tank kills right here. And that's always nice. That's probably, what, 400-ish minerals worth of just free kills right there. Oh, not bad at all. And I mean, he's at least going to be able to kill off that expand. But still, the Protoss is still off one more base than the Terran players, and you know, if he's gonna be moving around the map, he might as well just be expanding, keeping the Protoss players, you know, preoccupied with the main army at hand. But if he can get a stasis field, oh, okay, yeah, he just got stasis field off. Now the Protoss player can, I mean, as long as he can deal with these spider mines. It's going to be just free picking for these tanks. However, the Terran player does not want that to happen. Going to be pushing down a lot of mech units. Wow. 2, 2, 3 on those things. Wow, that's a lot of upgrades. Oh, going to be doing some good storms right there, just whittling down this army. Another EMP goes off, so you won't be able to get another stasis field off quite yet. Just want to be very careful not to lose these arbiters. Storms do go off, and oh, that army just got good. I don't know how smart that was just to engage an army. Now they're gonna... He's making an Archon, and goodbye tanks. And gonna be rebuilding his, I don't even know what... His 3rd. Yeah, his 3rd. Gonna be redoing that wall also. And Archons just look awesome when they're cloaked. And gonna be putting down a lot of spider mines around here. Now, I don't know, it's just a recommendation to just general, if you have the time to do it in a StarCraft game. But if you're able to put your spider mines just around a lot, instead of putting them all in one condensed spot, they might do more damage, because I'm not sure if they do, like, if they stack on damage. I'm not entirely sure about that. And sometimes you waste, like, four spider mines on just one cell or something. But gonna be able to send off. Oh, just lost a lot of gas in those. Moderate storm, kind of missing everything. And will he be able to deny this third? I don't know. I mean, he does have a good, nice spread on the tanks, but there's really not a lot that he can do. Yeah, it looks like he's just gonna be pushing up. You're like, you know what? Whatever. I can deal with this later, some other time. Actually, looks like he's gonna be pushing back. One thing you may want to reconsider or consider is to go, Arbiter recall into his main and maybe try to kill some production facilities. And it looks like he's gonna be trying to come in here, but he'll be seeing a face full of spider mines in right now. Wow, that did a lot of damage. Big engagement again on the left side. There's a lot of battles going on in this game. But he's just kind of wasting his units away. He's just rallying them across the map, which is not a smart move. He has to be very, very careful with this. Good to have these observers around. Oh, be careful. Why are you running to it? No, Arbiter, no! And he's going to be doing some more damage over here on the third. A lot of vultures, not really doing much. And I mean, against the Dragoon armies, they're by themselves, they're not really going to do much, but leading them into spider mines, very good control by the Terran player. I don't know all reason for 4 observers following that, but that's okay. And he's able to actually break through this wall and do some moderate damage. Nothing too special. And a couple vultures like, ooh, DTs. Ooh. It looks like he's just gonna not bother with those guys, and we're gonna see what happens. Maybe this got taken out. I don't know where the Nexus is. Looks like he's gonna be pushing out down to this location. I don't know if the Protoss player should really engage this, but it looks like he's going to. Yeah, he's gonna look like he's gonna back out. He has to be careful not to lose that other Arbiter. He just lost 2 of them. One or two of them up here. DT did take off that expand? Maybe not. Nope. That thing is about to die, actually. And, you know, this is a very, a lot of stuff is happening. Just look at the minimap. There's a lot of movement. And still not really getting that many machine shops. I guess he just doesn't want to wait that 30 seconds, or I don't know how long it takes to take a machine shop for the And it looks like he's going to be denying this 4th or 5th or expand, which kind of call it an expand first, for the sake of argument. And yeah, it looks like he's just going to be able to come in here and just, ooh, that was a lot of stuff blowing up. His own spider mine is being used against him. And you know, I feel like he should come back. If he can siege up, do these have enough resistance? If they don't, he could come back and potentially do some, be able to hold off his main. And but he's just losing. Oh, be careful of your... Oh, that guy had full energy, full... was able to hold off his main, at least for right now. He has a lot of tanks coming back up. And... sieging in the center of the map. And here comes a big swell of Dragoons and, Zealots, but no real main supporting Oh, 200 energy. Oh, there's a recall. Field gets off 3 tanks coming in from all sides. Pretty much going to get a really nice concave on this army. And wow, that just destroyed that army. And Terran players aren't really mining off of anything. And there's the WW. And wow, that was a very action-packed game, I have to say. And you know, that's what happens in TVP. Great game by both players. Terran could have maybe not wasted so many units, but you know, it happens. Great control by the Prototype. I really love that last recall and stasis field. That was just that was good. That was fun. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and we hope to get up the replay of the week game number 2 up for you guys. As I hope the next one is going to be as action-packed as this one. I can tell you my heart rate increased, and I'm out of breath. Whew. Alright, Fitz is out of here, guys, and peace. Have a nice day.